Welcome to the Moon Magic Tarot channel. Thank you for joining me today. In these readings today, we are asking your future self what good karma is about to come your way. I'm seeing the card for reading number 1 already, reading number 2, and I'm also seeing reading number 3. Now we're going to look at these 3 cards to guide you into the readings, and we'll draw a rune and a charm as well for each one. Reading number 1, you have clear and activate. Create sacred space. We have for reading number 2, shield your energy, look beneath the surface. So what good karma is about to come your way, your future self is revealing. And lastly, reading number 3, between worlds, new directions. Okay, so those are the 3 cards. We will draw runes and charms as well. Okay. Reading number 1, you have the rune of Gateway. Reading number 2, you have the runes of Journey. 2 runes definitely coming through for this reading. You have the rune of Journey and the rune of Joy. And reading number 3, you have the rune of Hagalaz, Disruption. Let's draw our charms. Reading number 1, you have the Starfish. Reading number 2, you have the Spiral. Wow. Reading number 3, you have the Tree of Life. Okay, so Super Souls, I'm going to leave the video running just for a few moments for those of you that need a little bit longer, and you can always press the pause button if you need to. I will put the timestamps for each of the readings in the information box below and the comments for phone users, so you can zap through to whichever reading or readings are speaking to you. Sometimes it's more than one. Super Souls, tons of love, and I will see you in the readings. Welcome, reading number 1. You have been guided into this reading by Clear and Activate, Create Sacred Space, the rune of Gateway, and the Starfish. I feel like you're going to be given the space, actually, whatever that may mean for you. You're going to be given some space in some way. Maybe it's the space to do something. Could even be like you're given a holiday or an opportunity to slow down, to unwind. Let's, rather than jumping into too many kind of connections already, let's draw cards and see what we are shown. So we'll draw some oracle cards first. We're asking your future self to let you know what is, what good karma, what piece of good karma is coming to you. I'm just going to use one of these actually. We are going to draw from the Akashic Tarot as well. We're asking what good karma is coming to reading number 1. What are we being shown? What does your future self wish you to see and anticipate? I'm going to leave it at that. We'll just look at these first and see what we are shown. Okay, so first of all, we have the card of Persevere. Put that up here. We then have the card of Six of Forces, the Waterfall. We have the Light of the World. Okay, we have the Garden. So it's very interesting. We then have the Seven of Earth and the Seneschal as well. Wow, loyalty is really coming through here. Perseverance, loyalty. I think we're going to put these cards, if we can, up here. Bear with me, I will press the pause button for just a second and reorganize the cards so that we can see them better. Hopefully you can now see those a little bit better. I've adjusted the lighting as well. So this is a really interesting reading number one, in terms of, you know, your future self. We are asking your future self what good karma is about to come your way. Actually, I feel like literally someone is going to come knocking on your door, you know, and it's very specific though. They're not just giving you a gift or support, or I feel like you're going to be given the space to do something. Okay, there's a, for starters, the rune of gateway, there's an opportunity here. Okay, it does tend to suggest review. It tends to suggest that we're given something here. The Seneschal as well, someone coming in, the light of the world also. Literally someone knocking on your door to give you a piece of information or something that you need in order to move something forwards. Who would have thought that a humble acorn could grow into a mighty oak tree? But of course this takes time. We have the card of persevere here. Whatever you are involved in, this card brings a message of reassurance. Your hard work and continued effort and dedication will come to fruition. You are asked to persevere and trust. I feel like there is something that you either have just not been able to carve out enough time to do something, or you've been working really hard at something, trying to manifest, ground something, manifest something, bring it into, you know, into actuality. The karma that's coming, the good karma that is coming your way, is literally it's an opportunity to center yourself, ground yourself. It's almost as though you haven't had time to complete something, you haven't had time to finish something, as if your busy world has been so hectic and so manic and so busy that you just haven't had the support or the resources that you've needed to move something into being, to bring it forwards. It is literally as if someone comes knocking on your door and says, look, I'll pick that up for you. I'll support you in this. I'll give you this. I'll help you to carve out this time and space. For some of you, maybe there have been family around you, family commitments, children commitments as well, that have just stopped you from being able to dedicate your time fully to something that you needed to do for you. Also, I want to say, if any of you have been struggling with any form of health issues, I think something will come in that will give you what you needed or what you are needing in order to have the space to recover and heal. They may literally bring you space, time to sleep, to recover, there's something coming into your world here, literally knocking on your door to give you exactly what you need right here and right now to pass through the gateway, to cross a threshold in some way, shape or form. Let's draw more cards. Let's draw tarot cards to see what else we're shown here for reading number one. What is the good karma that reading number one are being gifted with? And what is your future self showing you here and validating potentially for you? Okay. So we have the Seven of Cups. We have the Moon. This is very powerful under the waterfall. We have the Six of Wands. We have the King of Swords and the Knight of Wands. Okay. In fact, I think what we'll do, my apologies for moving these around, but it's the kind of best way to be able to get everything, yeah, just as it is. It's clearly fine. The Moon, in fact, Knight of Wands came, well, it doesn't really matter where it comes, it's really clear, really clear what we are being shown here, super souls. So some of you have been facing choices, trying to juggle lots and lots of different things, and it's sort of clouded your vision. Okay, it's very interesting because what you're being gifted here, the good karma that you're being gifted here, and your future self is really clear about this, is you're not being given a something per se, although there could be information coming to you. You're being given the space, the clarity, the piece of information you need to activate something or complete something that has been lingering, hanging around, to make a decision. Whatever circumstances surround you in the personalness of your world, you are literally going to be given what you need to be able to move something forwards, to shoot your catapult, as it were, to literally move something forwards. You felt disempowered. You could have been disempowered by circumstances, by the busyness. You're going to be given something that will allow you to be seen, to be heard, to be known about. Yeah, literally. There's something very activated. Gosh, do you know, it's really interesting that I'm slightly struggling. I know exactly what I'm wanting to voice, and yet I'm struggling to find the right words, which I feel is really relevant to this reading. Something you have been struggling to verbalize, to formulate, to finish, to decide on, to activate, to manifest. Just when you were beginning to think it's never going to grow, it's never going to happen, someone comes knocking on your door and they say, you are a force to be reckoned with. You are amazing. Something is going to bring you into the spotlight. Something will be illuminated around you. Someone will come in, or a circumstance will be created that will literally allow your vision, your idea, your choice, your very presence to suddenly be activated. It's like the way will be cleared for you, the gateway. If it's felt like there's one hurdle after another, you clear a bit of space and you think, that's cool, you know, I'm going to clear that day and I'm going to do that piece of work and that will move this forwards. And then, you know, the phone rings and something else happens and something else happens. Actually, the good karma that is coming your way, your future self is saying to you, don't worry if you have been struggling to carve out that time or to make that decision or to see what you need to do. Actually, it's going to be created for you. Literally, you'll be able to ground yourself, anchor yourself, take the actions you need to bring something into fruition. You have all the resources available. You are the pivotal, you're the central point here. And if you're missing a piece of information, it will come to you. If you're needing the time, it will be given to you. If you're needing the physical strength, you've been struggling with some health issue, the resources you need to recover will come to you. And you can move this forwards suddenly very, very quickly. And you move it forwards and you're going to be seen. It is literally, if the gate has been closed, suddenly it's going to open. Whatever you need to open that gate, it's going to open and you'll be seen, and it's full speed ahead. and you'll have the backup and the resources or whatever it is you need, whether it is time, whether it's energy, something you have been wanting to create, to do. It's going to, the space that you need to make it possible is about to happen. It's about to be given to you. It literally is. It's been just sort of on the cusp of, you felt like you've been on the cusp, and somehow every time you get close to it, it doesn't happen. This is the point when you get to aim true and ground yourself and anchor it into reality. It's like, I feel like you get to be the superstar that you truly are. For some of you, I do think this is like, it's like that lucky break. That's what we're really shown here. It's that lucky break, that moment, that where you just think, you know, how did the universe align that for me? You are the source of the creation of this. You know, opening yourself, the pathway will be made clear and you can activate yourself into a space. For some of you, it does feel like stardom. It's like you get seen, you get known, you're visible. If you've been, you know, posting forever little videos or somewhere, it's suddenly, you know, something goes viral. You know, suddenly that acorn starts to grow and you can think, wow, this oak tree could come sooner than I thought it would come. Suddenly it comes into being, something that you couldn't, you've been trying to sort of see how to do it. And suddenly that pathway becomes clear. You've had choices, you haven't been sure which one to follow. Suddenly the choice becomes clear, it's activated, it's illuminated, you know what to do, and whoosh, off you go. You're seen, you're validated. It's very empowering. Literally, you become, the way is cleared for you to move forwards with the power of a waterfall. Wow. Reading number 1, I'm going to draw some more cards. I want to kind of see what the outcome here is for you guys. You know, what are we going to be shown about the outcome of this situation for you? The reading itself is very clear. The good karma that is coming to you is this opening. It's this, yeah, it's like a block will be removed. The pathway will be clear. The space will be carved out. That lucky break is coming. What will be the outcome of this for reading number 1? Your future self. Can we ask your future self to reveal what the outcome will be of this lucky break for reading number 1? Okay, we have the card of the Hermit. Let's put these cards down at the bottom, I think. The card of the Hermit. We have the 5 of Swords. We have the 5 of Wands. We have the Lovers. We have the Sun. Wow, we have the Queen of Wands and the Chariot. Okay, this is super nice, reading number 1. Super nice. Okay. Something you have struggled with in isolation. You know, it's given you a headache. You know when it's back to what I was saying, you're trying, you feel like you're investing, and somehow your investment never quite pays off. That's about to change. That's the lucky break. Suddenly, the distinct energy here is that having part of what has been holding your situation back has been to do with trying to do it in isolation, whether you just haven't had any backup or the support of people behind you, which meant that it was, you know, quite a headache at times, or whether that is literally a pragmatic, practical support, like someone to look after the kids so that you have several hours carved out so you can do that piece of work or finish it, or whether it is, you know, the connections you needed, the networking connections, or the following, or the, you know, the lucky break, the agent, the publisher, the whatever it is, you know, the manager that really supports you, that sees your vision and sees your potential, you know, the person who comes along and says you're amazing, You know, you're the person I want to be with, whatever that is. This is whatever has been felt like that has kept the door closed. Like every time you get to that gateway, it's not open for you. It's about to open. The headache is over. This is about collaborating. Collaborating. You are no longer doing this on your own. There's a sense of belonging. You connect to a community of like-minded people who say, you're amazing. We are going to support your work 1000%. We love what you're doing. Look, we'll help you. We'll back you up. We'll do this bit for you. We'll do that bit for you. What can we do to help you? This is about collaboration. You are no longer doing this on your own. You know, if you were, I don't know, a single parent struggling to raise your kids, you meet that person who says, look, I'm in this with you. Whatever it is for you in the uniqueness of your world, something that has been blocking, the shift here and the good karma is, this comes knocking on, the support you need, the lucky break you need will come knocking on your door. And it means that you are no longer doing this alone. And because of that collaboration, this can burst forth. And whatever you are creating, bringing about, manifesting, it is going to come alive and it's going to move forwards. I mean, the celebration of this energy is phenomenal. It's going to come alive. It's going to happen. It's going to manifest. It's going to move forwards very, very quickly. Reading number 1. The gate will be open and you can become the superstar that you are in whatever it is you are manifesting. Whatever that is, whether it is something personal or it's a creative venture, whatever it is, the good karma your future self is saying to you. The good karma that you are drawing into you is the team, the resources, the collaboration that you need is going to come knocking on your door to make this future emergence and happening and visibility completely and utterly possible. I think for some of you, it really does feel like a lucky break that rises you to sort of, to being in that space of I won't say famousness, but you know, maybe for some of you, literally that. But it's success, it's visibility, it's whatever you have been trying to make happen. That's going to come knocking on your door. And it's like that's your entry point. The entry point that you've been waiting for. You've been sitting patiently persevering by this gateway that feels closed. Boom, it's going to open. Reading number 1, this is magical. And this is your future self is saying to you, look, this is, you know, the aloneness, the isolation of trying to do everything too much on your own is about to end, and that collaboration is on its way. You're not on your own with this anymore. And wow, the renewed resurgence of energy is incredible. I mean, just look at the image here on clear and activate, clearing of the way, and look at the energy here, the imagery, it's the same, arms wide open. It's like, wow, here I am, wow, here I can be. Really amazing. Something is then manifested into form, and I think it's going to happen very quickly. Okay, I really do, because this energy alignment is activated. You're no longer doing this on your own. You know, it's like that something can come now into fruition. Look at the apple trees in this image. Let me hold this up for you so you can see this. Look at this Kundalini energy. It's like you're burning. You're on fire. With so much passion and vitality and transformational energy. Really, really beautiful. Look at the productivity up here with these apples. Wow, I mean, this is fab. This is just so lovely. So this is the good karma that your future self is saying to you. Reading number 1, this is the good karma that is about to come your way. Super souls, this has been a magical, vibrant, literally on fire kind of reading, and I can really see that for some of you there's been a sense of, oh, will it ever happen? But wow, you know, a lot of that has been down to you being a bit of a one-man band, because you've needed to be, and stuff has been going on. But you know this is about to shift, and this is the good karma that is about to come your way. Reading number 1, if this reading is resonating with you and you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, whether it's the spontaneous readings that I do or the weekly readings that I put up every single Sunday for guidance, weekly guidance, literally guidance in the here and now, what's happening right now and for the next 7 days. You can tune into these readings at any time. I put them into a timeless readings playlist. It's a resource that's there for you guys to tap into at any time you need that additional guidance. If you subscribe and press the little bell icon, everything I upload should come into your stream. I put a ton of resources and stuff into the world. Do check out, what I'll do is I'll put all the links in the information box below for anything and everything that might be helpful to you. If you scroll down, check those things out, access them as and when they are helpful to you and in any way possible. They're all there as resources. Thank you, reading number 1, for joining me. This feels like just the opening, the lucky break that you need, and exactly what you need to make you or give you the opportunity to move something forwards, and very quickly it does. Super souls, this is a super lovely reading. I wish you the most amazing space of productivity, manifestation and possibility. Thank you so much, all of you. You are awesome. Thank you so much as well to those of you who give back and support the readings through the super thanks, and those of you who support all of my ongoing work through Patreon. Guys, you are awesome. Thank you so much. I will be uploading a new tutorial for you soon on Patreon. Superstars, thank you so much for being here today. Tons and tons of love. I am so excited for you. Welcome, reading number 2. You have been guided to this reading by Shield Your Energy, Look Beneath the Surface. We have the Rune of Joy and the Rune of Journey, and this magnificent charm of the Spiral. So, frog energy is very interesting because it's about cleansing, and yeah, before we dive into any form of interpretation, let's draw cards for you and see what we are shown. So I'm going to draw some oracle cards. And just one from this pack, from the Akashic Tarot as well. An interesting mix of cards today. I'm seeing these two. I am seeing this card here. Okay, let's have a look and see what we are shown in these cards to start with. So, we're asking your future self, what good karma is about to come your way? Now, first and foremost, this is fascinating. Shield your energy. You've done nothing wrong. Whatever has taken place was out of your control and out of your hands. This card asks you to let go of any feelings of guilt or personal blame. This was not your fault. You've done nothing wrong. Okay. We have One of Keys in reverse, the Architect. Let's move those up a little. We have the Eight of Roses, Sangha, Community. We have the Divine Physician in reverse. And we have the Lookout, the card of 17. Okay, this is really interesting. Okay, we then have the Queen of Air and the Five of Earth. Okay, look beneath the surface. This is absolutely, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with these particular cards. This is the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. I will put the names of the cards I use for this reading in the information box for any of you. If you notice, we have this very strong figure here with these cards. Do you know, I used this pack of cards for quite a long time before I realized there's this shadowy figure in the background. Can you see this woman here? It's like she blends in, she's not seen. So what we see is you are needing to see something that's beneath the surface. What I think is going to take place, this good karma that is about to come into your about to come into your life, to come your way, is that you are about to be shown something. You're about to be given something, a piece of information that was beneath the surface. I feel like some of you actually, yeah, really clear, really clear message here. I think some of you have been in a circumstance or a situation where you were potentially judged badly, okay? When it says look beneath the surface, shield your energy, I feel you were portrayed in a way that was not particularly nice, okay? And it was done possibly by somebody or a group of people who were really a bit envious of you, okay? And that doesn't feel particularly good when you're in that situation. In fact, it feels pretty rubbish. It's really hurtful. The divine physician in reverse here. You know, there was a group, and I think it's almost like one of those scenarios where maybe somebody who was a little bit narcissistic or a bit of a bully, if I'm honest. You know, when people sort of, it's like if you're around people who behave like they're in the school playground, it's a bit backstabby, it's not nice. And I think a circumstance or a situation has happened to you where you were portrayed untruthfully. You haven't done anything wrong. It wasn't your fault. It had nothing to do with you beyond the fact that you even exist. I mean, and I would say to you, my experience of people, and I worked as a counsellor, a psychotherapist for over 28 years, if you're new to my channel. When someone talks about somebody negatively behind their back, number one, they're not trying to fix anything. They're not saying there's a genuine problem and I'm trying to find a solution. If they talk behind your back and they do it secretively, then they have no investment in moving something forwards. 99.99999% of the time, what they're saying is not real. It's designed to cause harm or difficulty. And also, if they ask you to be secretive, don't tell them I've said about this. It means that they're trying to create secretness around it because they don't want to be found out, and they don't, you know, they want to cause damage without being found out. It's kind of what I would call below the belt, very cowardly bullying, you know, where what you see is not what you get, okay? Now, what I'm seeing in this reading, Super Souls, is that you've had a situation like that. And I think the root of it was that you're actually kind of pretty awesome, basically. I'm just going to say you're amazing. You're good at things. You were good at something. I think with you, what you see is what you get. And somebody has been envious of your capacity to be successful, and what they've tried to do behind your back is to sabotage you. Whether it was just they didn't want someone to like you, they didn't want you to be accepted into a group, or they were kind of like top dog and they didn't want you to, it was obvious that you've got so much going for you, they didn't want people to love you, like you, they were envious, they were challenged, they were jealous. That's their problem. You did nothing wrong. But they've massively tried to undermine you behind your back. What's going to happen, and this piece of good karma that is about to come your way, is that they're going to be seen for what they are. People are going to see below the surface. People in your community, your family, your group, your team, they are going to be seen for who they are. The lookout, burning bridges. Okay, they intended to cause a damage and to limit your potential. You know, they were aiming to self-sabotage, or not to self-sabotage, to sabotage you. You did nothing wrong. And what is going to happen here, and this is the energy of cleansing, the frog energy of cleansing. It's like when the rain comes and we heal, because the rain comes and it cleanses and it washes away the negativity. It's kind of like the thunderstorm, the thunder beings coming in, washing away the negativity. Something is going to happen, and this is the good karma for you guys, that is going to almost like clear your name. Something is going to happen, whether it's on a small scale or on a bigger scale. Something is going to happen that will heal your reputation. That's what I want to say. Let's draw some more cards. Reading number 2. I feel, you know, this is quite gratifying because you haven't done anything wrong. You had to learn to shield yourself. If anything, I think you kind of almost went undercover a little bit because it wasn't really safe for you to be seen. I mean, you've had to really navigate around this situation. This is changing. You're going to move forwards. You're going to be uplifted. You know, you're going to, this is creating the visibility of what's actually been going on behind your back is going to create a situation where I think you're going to really earn some respect, if I'm honest. Let's see what else we are shown here. There's your 4th card. What are we being shown here? So we have, I want to do these in the order that they're in. So let's have a look. So first of all, you have the 5 of Wands. Then we have the 6 of Wands. This is interesting. Page of Cups. Page of Cups and the Hermit. This is really interesting because this Hermit card, look at the eyes all over the cloak. And the lantern with the snake of transformation and sort of almost like a lily flower here. I really do feel you'll be vindicated in some way, shape or form. We have the owl here, Queen of Air. Something will be seen. The good karma that is coming your way is that you will no longer sort of almost have to hide under a cloak of invisibility due to, it's almost like you've probably been fearful of being seen. It's almost as though you couldn't step up into your success because you were afraid of being targeted. You couldn't be. It was very hard for you to be open, honest. But actually what's interesting is there's a shift where people then start to look to you for guidance. They start to look to you for illumination because they can see that actually you are not the person that was claimed. The pages, you're going to be loved. You know, the pages are a new opening of something. You can be seen for who you are. If anything, I think people will really see 6 of Wands. It's a card again of success, victory, and visibility. 5 of Wands, whatever the conflict that was taking on, the people who were being underhanded, kind of just like dancing around you, playing games together, having a great time at your expense. This is shifting. I don't know how this will happen because your circumstances will be unique, but the message is very clear, reading number 2. The good karma that is coming your way is that the energy and all of the perspectives of you that have been spread by people whose energy was ultimately about causing damage, you know, within a community or even a family group, that is actually going to shift. Something will be brought to light. You've had to shield your energy, but something will be brought to light that will lift you, journey you, lift you up to a place where you are above the conflict. You know, the conflict is something that will be left behind, really. You've had to seriously look out. You've had to watch your back. I can really see that, and I'm really sorry that's happened because it's not a good experience. Though in fairness, of course, you know, do you know wherever you go, there's always good and bad, and people, I always think if you come across people who live like this, it's a very good example of how not to live, isn't it? You know, we can learn a lot from them, and strangely enough, sometimes it is exactly these experiences that launch us into the higher, bigger, better versions of ourselves. There's always a benefit and a silver lining that comes from it. You've done a lot of inward journeying and soul searching because of these experiences and these people. So ironically enough, they have actually fueled your capacity. If anything, for some of you, they've fueled your capacity to become healers. You understand what it's like to be at the end of negativity. You've done that internal kind of soul searching. You've done it's quite a lonely pathway as well to do that level of soul searching. But now you're very, very conscious, you're very, very aware. And so people turn to you for guidance and for information because they know that you have something about you. You've experienced what it means to be in the shadows. Literally, some of you were like literally ghosted. You know, kind of, you know, you'd go out with a group of friends who you thought were friends and suddenly you find that they're all ignoring you. You know, it's just not a nice flavour, but it's been going on. And, you know, this is about to transform. You've had to shield your energy, but whatever was below the surface, behind the back, you didn't do anything wrong. It's going to be, these people are going to be seen for who and what they are. And that is the good karma. It's never our karmic pathway to deliver retribution to anybody, even if in all honesty, we feel like it. It's human, isn't it? You want to retaliate, but actually retaliation is unhelpful. It doesn't help because we're dishing out more of the same energetically. You've withdrawn, you've retired, you've stepped away, you've done the inner soul searching. If anything, you constantly have gone back and thought, well, what did I do to contribute to this situation? You know, what was my part to play? You've been really working hard to process this. Whatever comes to light in the uniqueness of your world, the validation, the recognition is now shifting. And that is the good karma that is coming your way. Let's draw some more cards, reading number 2, and just ask whether your future self will give us a little bit of a glimpse into your future now that this has come to light and there's no longer a need to be shielding yourself in quite the same way as previously. May we ask your future self for information as to a glimpse into the future that comes because of this good karma and the outcome of this real positive circumstances that brings things to light and address those problems and the deeds of others. Okay, so we have Page of Swords. We have the 8 of Swords. We have the Devil, liberation. We have the Page of Cups. Gosh, all these pages. We have the Queen of Swords. And lastly, we have the 10 of Swords. Okay, I'm just going to move those along a little bit so that we can see them all for you. Right, so this is going to complete something for you. It's always, this may have happened a while ago, or it may just be something that's relatively recent. It may, you know, whatever it is for you, it's going to come to a proper completion. You know, when maybe there is something that just pops into your head, even from years before, where it happened and it was really unfair and you moved on and you moved away, but it pops back up in your mind from time to time, you know, because you just think, oh, that was never fixed, that wasn't fair, it wasn't right. You know, this is no longer going to hold you back. Okay, because it's going to be seen. What's really interesting is, and we see this imagery on the 8 of Swords here. We've got the light bulb, so something will be illuminated. Yeah, it will become very clear to people what's actually been happening or what actually took place. The 8 of Swords it's really showing how much they projected onto you. I said earlier, you know, when someone talks behind someone's back and it's negative and it's unkind, they are, you know, you can almost guarantee that it's not true, that they don't want to seek a resolution or they want to have an honest conversation. If they want it to be kept a secret, it means they can never be challenged and their stories will get bigger and better and even more elaborate and even more untrue. They can escalate things. Also, do you know, 9 times out of 10, the person they are describing when they are making accusations to you, they're describing themselves and what they do. It's like a mirror, a projection. That's going to change. This is going to be brought to light, illuminated. For some of you, if you were really put down badly, you know, like somebody wrote, a bit like in the press when they write something nasty and unkind and spiteful and untrue about someone, and then it comes to light and there's a written apology in some way, shape or form. Something of that is coming, and you'll no longer be seen as the projection of someone else. The Devil is a card of liberation. Those cords are cut. Can you see this person here with their hands over their ears? It was like it was so, what was being said was so unkind. I mean, it was, you really had to constantly shield yourself. This is changing. Page of Cups. This is, you know, pigs might fly. You never thought you'd see the day this would happen. You are vindicated, you are seen. You can literally, I mean, look at the posture of this Queen of Swords sitting on her kind of throne, as it were. And it's lovely actually, because she's not vindictive. She's clear, she's strong, she sits in her own power. It's like, do you know what? I rose above these situations, the same as the lookout here. You rose above them, you didn't retaliate, you have a clarity of mind, and finally you can lay this to rest, leave it behind you permanently and for good. This will no longer come up and haunt you because it's seen, it's known. People know who this is, they know how they've behaved, they know what it's like, and this is your good karma. It is this sort of, in a way, it's the universe bringing about somebody else's karmic retribution, which was never yours to carry out, but because they are seen, the karma comes back to them. You are now seen in a clear and clean light, which is beautiful. It's like your name is cleared. You are free of this. You can walk tall and leave it behind you because you never did anything wrong in the first place. This was all rooted in jealousy and envy from day one. Absolutely from day one. You can now set forth and start to build the world that you want to build without this lingering energy around this, without this residue of the past hanging over you. It really is. It's like somebody else basically getting their karma means that you get your good karma that comes to you. And your future self is really just saying, look, you are going to walk tall, walk proud, and this can be left behind you, let go of permanently, cords severed. You never have to go back there again. It's done, it's dusted, it's history. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, no longer relevant, and you know it. But most importantly, so does everybody else as well. That is the energy and the good karma coming your way, reading number 2. Super Souls. If you have enjoyed this reading and you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, if you subscribe and press the little bell icon as well, they should come into your stream. This is a spontaneous reading. I do lots of these, answering very specific questions. I also post readings every single Sunday for weekly guidance and, you know, literally the here and now information that your spirit team wants you to know. And for the next 7 days, they are also timeless readings. You can tune into them at any time when you need guidance. And in my timeless readings playlist, you will just find a ton of readings that answer specific questions like, you know, is this person trustworthy? Is this a yes or a no? How will this pan out? They're just, you know, the weekly guidance, you know, what do your spirit team, what can they tell you right now to support you? Those readings are there, just access them, and I will put the link in the information box and the comments for phone users, along with a ton of other links, because I put all sorts of stuff into the world, all kinds of resources. But rather than talk about them all, I'll put the links in the information box and comments, and you can scroll down and access any of those things that feel relevant or helpful to you. Reading number 2, this is actually quite significantly good karma because it changes something really significant about your own visibility and your own success in the world in a really big way. So it's kind of super gratifying in a way to feel that is there, that the universe is working in this way behind the scenes, you know, even if it comes for some of you several years later, beyond an event. You know, there's something really, really reassuring about the good in the world here. So Super Souls, thank you so much for being here, for joining me for this reading, for liking, sharing, subscribing, for being part of this beautiful community that we're building here on YouTube. Thank you to those of you who are giving back through the super thanks, and to those of you who are also supporting all of my ongoing work by you know, giving back through Patreon. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome, and I will be uploading another tutorial for you soon on Patreon. Super Souls, thank you for joining me. Tons and tons and tons of love. And yeah, this feels pretty awesome. It really does. Welcome, reading number 3. You have been guided into this reading by the card Between Worlds, New Directions, the Tree of Life, and the Rune of Hagalaz, Disruptions. So let's put this up here. There's a lot of vitality, a lot of energy in this, just in this little cluster, this one card, and Hagalaz, Disruption, which suggests that something is going to be liberated or changed for you, new directions. Let's draw some oracle cards, and well, let's just draw some cards generally for you. Take both of those, I think. We use the Akashic Tarot as well, I think, today. I'm going to use this and this today. Let's have a look at these first before we draw some more tarot cards as well. So, first of all, you have believe in yourself. You are important. Then you have ground yourself. Okay. We have the 3 of Roses, loving elementals. We have the Queen of Roses in reverse. I can see where this reading is going already. And then we have the card of birth, birth. Okay, so new beginnings, new directions, between worlds. Okay. We then have abundance and the Queen of Earth. Okay, I'm just going to place those here. Right. In fact, I'll put them down here. Okay, Super Souls, reading number 3. This is very, very interesting. We are asking your future self what good karma is about to come your way. Interestingly enough, something is exiting your life, and because this something is exiting your life, it's actually creating a space for a new opportunity, and it's a significant one. Okay, because it's leading to abundance, it's leading to, you know, ground yourself. It's as if you can re-anchor yourself in some way, shape or form. Re-anchor your dreams, re-anchor your self-belief. Between worlds, the Tree of Life is, for me, very significant in terms of building a future. Hagalaz says it's the rune of disruption, and for me it's a bit like the energy of Uranus in astrology, the Great Awakener. It's like it kind of comes into our world to shake us up a bit. Sometimes Hagalaz is something happens that shakes up our world, and a window of opening, of new openings and possibilities comes from that. Sometimes it's like a gradual coming to our senses that we can't, you know, we can't keep sweeping something under the carpet. Something isn't tolerable anymore. What I am seeing here as, you know, the next good, the good karma that is about to come your way is actually somebody or something exiting your world who has been holding you back or limiting your horizons, or even potentially putting you down or you know, it could even be the exiting of a thinking pattern where you have put yourself down. And the good karma is that something is about to happen that will lift the box on that. It's like, you know, if there's been a glass ceiling holding you back, it's like the glass ceiling gets lifted. There's something, you are being given a new opportunity. I think for many of you, you may find yourself already feeling as though you are sitting between worlds. Something has already been exiting. You've had ideas, you've had thoughts. But the thoughts, but you haven't quite had the self-belief to be able to anchor them into a space of genuine, solid manifestation. We need to draw more cards. Reading number 3. We absolutely need to draw more cards. May we have more information about the circumstances for reading number 3 of this good karma that is about to come into their lives from your future self. There's your first card and your second. It is, nope, I'm not actually, no, it is this one. You know, when sometimes you just have to just sit with those cards. Here we go. Right. We have the card of strength. We have the card of the Chariot. Oh, wow. We have the card of Temperance. And we have the Tower. Wow, these are big cards. Reading number 3. These are really big cards. All major arcana cards. Wow. Cool. Woo. I want to say something is about to take off in your life. Good karma coming your way. Talk about something exiting. This is far more, this is much more about what's coming than what's exiting. This is the energy, this vitality. If you've been poorly or not well, your energy is going to return. You're going to really start to get your energy back. If you've been in a transitionary space between relationships, that's going to change. If you've been in a transitionary space in some kind of aspect of your job, that's going to change. Fundamentally, something is going to shift that is going to anchor you into a place of where something really starts to happen in real terms. It starts to birth into the world, and it's going to be quite life-changing, I think, actually, if I'm really honest. Even if it's not necessarily going to be delivered all at once, because this is the birthing here of something. It's a new beginning, new directions, new beginnings. So it's not necessarily going to be, it's not like the, gosh, it's like if you're going to build a house, let's say your dream home, and it's not like you know, you can't build a house, you can't just wave your magic wand and the house, da-na, is put up tomorrow. Okay, because actually it has to be built. But this is the finding of the building plot you're going to build on, and then the right builder just shows up, and or the architect comes along and the plans are passed and there's no hold-ups whatsoever. It's all moving forwards. It's like, wow, this is happening. It's actually going to be built. If you had a creative idea and you've been sitting on the fence waiting for something else to happen, this is the point where something is coming into your world that will anchor it into a space of new beginnings. It'll be energized. It'll be celebrated. It'll be honored. And the bit that is leaving your world, the someone or the circumstances, is there's something along the way that has just been holding you back. It could be a belief system. It could be your own inability to be actively involved in self-care. It could be an attitude, as I said, a believing in yourself situation. It could be someone who has previously limited your horizons, or a circumstance. But this is about to shift, and it's going to shift quickly. I feel I need to draw more cards for you and follow this through reading number 3. Because it's really bizarre. It's like the emphasis of this reading is all about the future. It's like something is about to take off. Something is about to be, it's like releasing something. You know, like, yeah, it's like if there's a treasure trove of something and the lid of the box was locked, someone unlocks the box and pull, it just explodes. It's like someone lights a firework and, you know, off it goes. Ground yourself, believe in yourself. You've been in a transitionary place, or you've been in a situation that hasn't felt okay. Something of the nature of that is about to shift and change. And within that, literally there is this point of emergence for you guys. And it's very life-changing. It really is life-changing. It's going to move fast. It's going to happen like magic. You are going to need to ground yourself. You're going to need to anchor yourself here. Queen of Earth. Manifesting. Creating. Being given the resources, the abundance. Buffalo. You know, we have Buffalo here. Buffalo was, you know, the source of so much. The buffalo was the source of food. The buffalo was the source of, ultimately, of shelter, of clothing, of all the resources that are needed to thrive, to live well. Something is coming to you. What is bizarre is that simultaneously something is leaving. Now, I know in a way, whenever we move into the new, we leave something behind. That's inevitable. We have to shift. So we may have to shift an attitude from an attitude of lack, for example. But this literally feels like something is, if you've been sitting in the parking lot, using lots of different sort of analogies and different sort of symbolic kind of symbolisms, really. But it's like if you were sitting in a parking lot or in a traffic jam, suddenly the lights, you know, and you're thinking, when is this going to end? Suddenly you've been edging and edging and edging, and suddenly the road is cleared and off you go. It literally does, something's going to take off in your world. The good karma that is about to come your way. Now let's really tune in with this. We're going to ask for more information because something's going to take off. You'll be leaving things behind, which is why you need to ground yourself. You need to remain firmly in the driving seat here. Be strong, because this is going to move fast, like magic. Yeah, so remain balanced here. You're going to have to handle this. It's like, whoa, this is what I dreamed of, and now I've got to, you know, you've been between the worlds, and suddenly, off we go. Life-changing events. We need to ask for more information here. We really, really do, Super Souls. So reading number 3, may we please have more information about this karma? What is this karmic happening that creates this opportunity, this opening, this taking off, this new direction, this new beginning? May we ask for more information about this, please, for reading number 3. Have a little look and see what we are shown here. Okay, so 4 of Cups. This is really important, sitting here. Believe in yourself, you are important. Sitting above the card of abundance with the 4 of Cups here. The Emperor. 9 of Cups. 8 of Swords. The Fool. 5 of Pentacles. And we have the Page of Swords as well. Okay. Let's place that just here. Okay. I can see the shift really clearly here, Super Souls, and big respect to you, okay, because regardless of what has happened to you, let me read this card here. You are important, you are lovable, you are special, you are a unique and extraordinary person. Whatever you've come from, whatever has happened to you in the past, it is time to let go of any negative perceptions that you may carry about yourself. The karmic shift that takes place here, the good karma that is coming to you, that your future self is saying to you, this space of new beginnings, is because you've done the work. You've looked inwards. I think whatever has happened to you, you've shifted from a place of kind of feeling like, gosh, the world's happening to you. And I mean, it does happen to you. This is, you know, it is, however we look at it, stuff happens in our lives and it brings us really big life lessons. And I always feel like, you know, if we don't get it the first time round, the universe will bring it up and deliver another lesson and again until we get it. And you know, sometimes, you know, we do have to do that level of soul searching, and it's really tough stuff. It's really like a big mirror where we kind of have to soul search and think, right, well, this has happened several times now. So the common denominator, I've had, you know, all same situation has happened in 3 different jobs, or the same situation has happened in 3 different relationships, or something along those lines. Okay, I need to recognize I'm the common denominator here. What's my part to play in this? Even though you haven't necessarily done anything wrong as such, but there's something energetically. It could be something that you are carrying from a past life. You could also, I think for some of you, quite genuinely, you've carried something genetically that comes through, it's like the genetic family line, Queen of Roses here. It could be like an inability to have a voice, or an inability to be actively involved in self-care, following a family pattern that's literally sort of genetically entwined. What we're being shown here, and your future self is saying, you know, kind of rock on here, we've done good. You've chosen to, rather than sit in this space of not being okay with it, you've actually been prepared to step up and take charge of this, and you've said, you know what, I'm not actually going to repeat this pattern. I'm not going to repeat the pattern. I'm going to look in that mirror. I'm not prepared to let this be holding me or future generations of my family back anymore. I'm going to create this shift. I'm going to do this differently. I am going to create a new way of being, a new genetic line. I'm going to give that key to future generations. I'm going to unlock the door, even if I have to go through it a lot, even if I have to really, really work at this, and I have to face a lot of stuff that's really hard to deal with. Literally the stuff that's genetically held and passed, because trauma is genetically passed. We know that's, you know, there's been so much research that has literally shown that trauma is passed down from generation to generation. It's genetically there. Extraordinary research and experiments that have shown that we react. You know, trauma is passed down. And, you know, the Holocaust survivors, the, you know, generations below those, lots and lots of research that show they have it's like this PTSD, post-traumatic stress, is still carried several generations down the line. Lots and lots of experiments have demonstrated this. I could talk to you about loads of them, but I won't go into them now. But really, that's what we're being shown here, that you have chosen to embrace the level of work here, to take this up and say, do you know what, I'm going to make it different. I'm going to be the person who bridges the worlds of the past and the worlds of the future, and for future generations. I'm no longer going to tolerate these things. I am going to even if I have to really experience a lot of disruption, I'm going to create a space of new birth and new opportunity. I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to leave a different legacy. I hold the key and I choose to take an ownership of that level of soul growth and learning. And I need to just say really big respect. Seriously, you are seriously important. I don't just voice it in removing those inner aspects of self-doubt and a lack of self-belief that come through those passed down family traits. That self-doubt that can be in there, but quite seriously, you are important because you are changing the patterns for future generations. You are doing the work, you've been prepared to do the learning, and your future self is literally big thumbs up for you, serious thumbs up. You've had to seriously deal with some stuff, you've had the strength, you've had to really work through these things and develop that inner strength. But this is the point where the good karma gets rewarded. And I will draw a few more cards around this as well for you, because this is showing us what that karmic pathway is about. Now, this is a time of new beginnings, new directions. It's like you've done the work. You don't have to live within the sphere of that karmic work. Actually, you've done it. You hold the key. You've dealt with the work. You've done it. It's now time to move on, move ahead. And things are going to take off for you in a big way. And rightly so. Opportunities are now going to come your way. Literally, you have the ability to live differently, and as a consequence, I think you might become a mover and a shaker in whatever that sphere is, whether it's literally in consciously parenting, or whether you are a mover and a shaker in your industry, whether you are a mover and a shaker in your academically, or wherever that sits for you, whether you become an inspiration in your community because you are now living differently and demonstrating through example that, you know, things can be fair. Whether you are going to be involved in some aspect of inequality and bringing this to rights. Something is going to take off in your world because of this level of soul work that you've done. And it is absolutely leading to some aspect of real strong success. Here, let's draw some more cards and just ask your future self if there is any indication or a sneaky preview into the future that is coming, really because of this, because you are becoming I think you are becoming a mover and a shaker in your own way. You're finding that voice. You have a message to deliver. You can be the person who does that level of communication, who organizes those workshops, or just through the very conversations you have in your industry, you create openings. Let us look at what we are shown. What is your future self showing you here? Okay, first of all, Six of Cups. Really significant card in this position. The Ace of Wands. Oops, let me just lay these out so that we are going to be sitting with them as they need to be. We have the Four of Swords, the Two of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so our sneaky preview into what's happening here. Super good. Yeah, okay. So, you're going to be somebody that, when I say a mover and a shaker, your level of learning means that you actually now have a really significant contribution to make in some aspect of the world, whatever that is for you. You will be able to share something of that integration of your learning. You'll be able to highlight things from the past that actually aren't okay and create change within the future. It's literally, you can nurture, you are the voice that holds that space of potential. You can be an observer of the past whilst initiating the future. People will no longer need to be blinded by or kept in the dark by something. It's stuff that yeah, attitudes of the past, circumstances of the past, the way something was previously done. Through your learning and your level of soul growth and processing, you become a mover and a shaker. You become not an activist, but you know, maybe for some of you it is. But what you're doing is activating potential and possibility, which I suppose is what a mover and a shaker is. You will be able to remove the blindfolds that people have of impossibility and liberate pathways forwards that create change. The Tower. Whatever the context is, this is a real validation. We can see where this has come from, and this is a validation of the pathway forwards. You will literally be able to assist people in knowing that from the past, and from the past situations, things being done in a particular way, we can do things differently. We can nurture things. We can heal the past, and in doing so, we liberate ourselves from conflict. In many ways, you guys will be able to, I think, make a significant contribution in whatever aspect of your personal unique circumstances this is, to removing the conflict that has previously held other people back, just as it once held you back. You will be able to become someone who translates past into future possibility, past learning into future possibility, in ways that is shared with others, so they too see that healing can take place and possibility is possible. That's the essence of this. And yeah, it's going to take off for you. It's really going to take off for you. The karmic happenings for you, the good karma that is coming to your way, is literally the rewards for all the work you've done, that now you are in a position to become, to make this contribution. But it brings you abundance. I mean, that's the amazing thing here. We have this it's like literally ground yourself. This is going to take off. You can make a difference in ways that you could, you know, you've previously dreamed of making a difference. You've seen where things aren't okay. You get to have that voice. Ground yourself, anchor yourself. It's time to for your learning to bring you not only the changes and to be part of a movement of change, but actually to be rewarded for it. Rather than feeling like you've been navigating change from a position of being in it and having to instigate it within yourself and in all sorts of ways, suddenly you are now not only an instigator, but you get rewarded for it. You get paid to be a mover and a shaker. You get rewarded, you get validated. The abundance comes to you. Reading number 3, this is absolutely awesome, and I have so much respect for you. It's almost like your world has been shaken up and you've had to deal with it, and now you become a mover and a shaker, but in a way that really does create future possibilities. So I mean, it's a magical reading. You know, there is you will be a contributor of a very different future for future generations. I am very, very honored to be reading for you. Truly thank you, because change is so needed. We know that. We only have to turn on the news and see things that aren't okay. And you are one of those people who has said, you know, personally, I will do that level of work to make sure that the buck stops here and change begins. And now you've done that, you've reached a point where your experiences can be shared and honoured, and you can be genuinely rewarded for all of that. Super Souls, this is amazing. Thank you. If you have enjoyed this reading and you'd like to get notification of any of my readings, whether it's a spontaneous one or the ones that I upload every single Sunday for weekly guidance, literally guidance from your spirit team, here and now, what do they need you to know? What do they wish to tell you? And for the coming week, if you subscribe and hit the little bell icon, everything I upload should come into your stream. And yeah, what can I say? I mean, wow. I personally put a lot of resources into the world. So Super Souls, I'll put links to everything that might be useful to you in the information box. Do scroll down and access anything and everything that might be valuable for you on your ongoing pathway of evolution. Thank you so much to all of you who've been giving back through the super thanks, and to those of you who support all of my work ongoing on Patreon. Thank you, guys. You are so appreciated. I will be uploading a new tutorial for you soon on Patreon, so thank you. Just my way of giving back to you for that extra support. Super Souls, this is an amazing turning point. It literally is new directions opening for you. It's magical, it's empowering, it's so deserved. You know, just you know, I am in awe. You are amazing, and it's a privilege to read for you. So thank you so much for being here today, for joining me. And yeah, I have a timeless readings playlist, so at any time you want to access readings like these, or readings for guidance literally in the here and now, just find that link. It's always in the information box and the comments, so that you can access the guidance that you need at any time. Super Souls, tons and tons and tons of love.